Welcome to my channel Women Who Travel, and this segment is Sights and Sound. Sights and Sounds. When I usually book my trips, I like to see what do the streets of different cities look like, what is it in real. I don't want recommendations, which of course I go for later, but to start with, I always want to look at what to expect in that city. What are the streets like? What are the sounds? What are the sights there? So I compiled a video for you all about Mexico City.
We are a bit drunk right now.
Yes. High and drunk. Without even having anything.
Yes, because we honestly do not speak Spanish and we're in Mexico City.
And the altitude is high. It's making us a bit dizzy and
yes,
drunk and high all together.
This is a reminder. I don't know if I'll post this, but I just thought you guys should know.
Tamara here was born and raised and lives in Mexico City. Tati, born and raised in Toronto, lives in Toronto. I'm Komal. I was born and raised in Lahore, Pakistan. Now I live in Toronto, and I also visited Mexico City in Feb 2020. Also known as Ciudad de Mexico in Spanish, and it is the capital and largest city of Mexico. For all of you who don't know, Mexico is part of North America. You guys must have heard of Mexico because of the delicious food, of course, tacos, drug cartels. Ooh.
When I think about Mexico City, I feel happy. I have this feeling of warmth, but not just the weather, but social warmth, like hugs and being close to people.
Now, Mexico City is located at a really high altitude. I'm not kidding when I say high altitude. I really mean freaking high altitude. It is located at an altitude of 7,350 feet. Let me give you a bit of perspective. New York is 33 feet. Toronto in Canada is 251 feet. And Lahore in Pakistan is 705 feet. The funny thing is, when we think of high altitude, we think about mountainous area, hilly area. But Mexico City is pretty much flat. And that's because it's more of a plateau.
Are you excited?
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Is this breakfast place called, or more like a cafe. It's called Cafe Popular. Yes, it's in the name. It's a popular cafe. It was one of my favorite places. Like, I could go there every morning and enjoy their breakfast. The hotcakes we got were so nostalgic. Like, that's the word I use for it. It made me feel like my grandmother had made them. Although my grandmother would never make pancakes for me because she didn't even know what pancakes were. But the taste and the flavor was so much like, you know, a grandmother is making it for you. And then we got the coffee from there, and the coffee was just brilliant. I enjoyed the coffee so much. I ended up buying their coffee bag, and it was just fantastic. We also had enchiladas, which was also really good. And one of the things that really topped the list was corn cake. So we were in the mood of some dessert, and the waitress, she recommended we try the corn cake. It was the last slice left for the week almost, because she said they make it once a week. And we got the last lucky slice, and it was so worth it.
I went to a restaurant and it started raining.
I was like, Tati, okay, I'm gonna say something. You'll hate me for that, maybe. But I just wanna run and go to the churros place. Like, what's the big deal? It's just rain. It's not gonna kill us.
So we decided to run to our next destination, which was a churro place. So we ended up running in the rain, and it was such a nice visual experience. Like, we ended up going to the churro place. They lost their electricity.
So it was raining and the light went out. It's so funny. Everyone just...
So we ate churros in the dark, and everyone just felt like this was normal. It kind of looked like a nightclub, which was really funny. But yeah, it was such a peaceful night, and it just really felt like a movie. It was very memorable.
The food is I think the top reasons why people actually go to Mexico City. That was my biggest reason to visit Mexico City. I think in the food space, the 3 things that you should definitely try are tacos, of course, but tacos from old taco shop. I don't think I can really describe it in words how amazing that taco experience was. We got the al pastor tacos, which comes with like meat and pineapple, and you can Google it more. And they were really small, so we ordered 2 in the beginning. And the moment we had like the first bite, it was magic. I remember I just added, and they have like these small sort of like buckets with onions and salsa and some other sauces. And when you take the first bite, it is hard not to just stop and be like, it is so good. That's what I was doing, and I'm sure like people around me will be like, she is a little weird and insane.
When I think of Mexico, it's about sharing food, sharing lives, going out. And a moment that I can link to these feelings is a family dinner. We usually stay forever at the table. We call it sobremesa, and we just talk about everything.
El Moro is this one place which has like franchise all over Mexico City, but I would highly recommend going to the one in city center. The churros we had in city center El Moro were just out of this world. Crispy from the outside, soft from the inside, and they have like so much sugar on top, but still you don't feel like you're literally killing yourself with that sugar. It doesn't feel as sweet or as like heavy. I wasn't able to try the hot chocolate as such because I have lactose intolerance. The new branches in the new neighborhoods offer almond milk replacement. That's the only time I got to try it. But usually what the Mexicans do is they get the hot churros and some hot chocolate with it. And if you want to enjoy the real experience, definitely try that.
So to be honest, I got really sick in Mexico City. I got food poisoning, and so I have quite a mixed feelings because of that. And that was probably the sickest I've been in over 10 years, so it was a bit of a shock.
At the end of the day, she was just so consumed by that we just went to the nearby pharmacy and the pharmacist gave us medicine. And after like the second dose, she was much better.
We constantly had to buy bottles of water instead of what I'm used to, which is just drinking from the tap in Toronto. And it just made me really appreciate Toronto and other countries that have clean drinking water, because it's something we take for granted here, but it really makes a huge difference. Like, I don't want to be stressed out that I will have water to survive and drink and constantly have to buy.
I hate the traffic. I try to live close to where I work so I don't have to get into traffic to do my normal life.
In the beginning, we were considering renting a car and driving around Mexico City, because our understanding was that Mexico City will not have a really good public transport. However, after looking at some of the blogs and just watching other YouTube videos, I came to learn that driving in Mexico is probably not the best idea, because the traffic is insane, nobody follows rules, and they're just gonna be so messy that probably it's not a good idea to rent a car. So we didn't rent a car, and when we went there, I was actually surprised. The traffic was pretty horrible, there's no doubt about it, but I felt so comfortable. I was like, I can definitely rent a car here and drive around, because my normal comes from Pakistan. I used to drive in Lahore, Pakistan, which, by the way, is the worst place to drive. And I get scared when I have to drive in Toronto. But when I went to Mexico City, I felt like, this is a piece of cake. I don't have to know the rules as such. I can just follow the way other people are doing. And so all those people who are going from Pakistan or South Asia, I would say that driving there should not be a big problem for you, especially if you have been driving for a long time in those countries.
The city is always in movement. Any day going downtown, there's a lot going on. A lot of exhibitions, a lot of people yelling at the street to buy stuff. Markets, strikes, there's always something going on, and the city is never quiet.
So one really amazing thing about Mexico City is the weather, and your skin just feels so good. This is my skin without any foundation, and we went in Feb, and it was just the perfect weather. Like, it wasn't humid, it was not cold, but also not as hot that we'll just die. It would get like colder in the morning, like around 6 degrees, 7 degrees, and then it'll get warmer in the day. So like, I was wearing shorts and it was totally fine. You do feel a bit chilly in the morning, but then the sun comes out and everything's warm and amazing.
I enjoy biking. Every Sunday they close Reforma Street, which is the main street of Mexico City. It's huge, and they don't allow cars to go in on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So just biking on that street with a lot of people, because I don't know, Mexico is huge and very populated. After riding a bike for 2 hours, having breakfast downtown, it's a great experience. And then you also get to see in the roundabouts, they have Zumba classes and capoeira and yoga.
It's that nostalgic feeling that I get about that place, as if I've lived there all my life and I miss that. One of the reasons could be that it reminded me a lot of Lahore, which is my hometown and a city in Pakistan. I felt so welcomed. I felt so much like I could be a part of that community. Nobody made me feel like an outsider, doesn't belong here, shouldn't be here.
So we're here, look at this fountain, we're just in the middle of the park.
It's so beautiful, the weather is so nice.
I know, it's so refreshing. Yes.
the feeling of being unsafe in certain areas.
It's not safe for women to walk around the street by themselves, and I don't like that. I don't feel safe at night.
Not feeling like I could walk anywhere alone, and it was really dependent on the neighborhood. We were walking home after a restaurant and it was quite dark, so we kind of felt unsafe. There was this feeling of being unsafe, and our hotel wasn't that far, so we first were like, yeah, we can walk it. We slowly started walking, but we just felt there was just all these sketchy people around us, and we just felt more unsafe. It was very empty on the streets too. There's no street lights, which made me feel even more unsafe. And in the end, we decided to call an Uber. We did Uber Pool, which I think we should have just called for an Uber, but essentially with Uber Pool, they meet you at a different location than where you are actually at sometimes. So we were trying to figure out where they were and the direction of the streets and everything. And then we were running out of time to find out which direction this Uber was standing waiting for us, and finally I just took Komal's hand and I was just like, run, we gotta find this, let's run. And she was like, what? And I kind of just forced her to run because my survival mode kicked in, because we were just feeling more unsafe. We just wanted to get home.
So we got into the Uber and we finally felt like, oh my god, thank god, it's a bit safe. But it didn't stop there. So we showed the Uber driver where we want to go. We showed him the hotel name and he said, yeah, that's where I'm gonna take you. And he started going down a tunnel, and by this time I was kind of used to, in a way, of the way around the hotel. And we were also using our Google map throughout. Like, we were really conscious that, you know, these people might take us the wrong way, so we kept the Google map open, and it showed us that the car was going the other way around. It wasn't even heading towards the hotel, and we got super scared, and we were just like, no, we need to go to this hotel, you have the wrong address, turn around. So he acted as if, you know, it was just new information. He's like, this hotel, like, I'm like, you just agreed. He was talking Spanish and he started acting, he knew a little bit of English, but he started acting like he knows no English. And I was like, I just told you and you said yes. So he's like, oh, okay. And very reluctantly, he kind of took another turn back and drove us back.
I don't like pollution. It's a pretty polluted city. And safety.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope this quick video gave you an idea about what the Mexico City looks and feels like, what are different sights and sounds you can expect, what can you expect from it visually, and I hope you can look at my other videos for more details. I have a video about what to buy from Mexico City, which might be useful for people who love shopping. So take care, ciao, do hit the like button here, and do subscribe there. If you don't subscribe, what should I do? I can't do anything. I just hope you guys subscribe.